Hey guys, welcome back to another Minnesota Live Left-Handers podcast here. Wow, what a finish. Unbelievable to see what just happened today and the finish. We got a lot to talk about. There's a few things that I want to talk to you guys about. Nate, what do you got for me so far?
Well, I think first of all, this is the first time we've done this right after an event, so this is fun. There's not been time to like process. It's just sort of our quick reaction. I didn't see his press conference. I saw him walk off the green. Uh, which we should talk about that in a second too. And then I
When
had
you're
the chance
talking
to
he,
meet
I'm assuming you're talking Brooks Koepka.
the winner. Yes, Brooks Koepka. You, I think, were out to eat or something, and so you didn't see his press conference either.
I called you
Um,
to see if you were sitting in front of the TV because I was watching it, but I couldn't hear it. They didn't have subtitles or anything like that. But I imagine it went something like this. Yeah, it was great not to have Patrick Cantlay in front of me, slowing me down to keep me from winning this major.
Slow play ruins families, man. We can't have it. Uh, I'm pretty sure he followed that up with this. Uh, Zach Johnson, I dare you to keep me off this Ryder Cup team.
I the guy, why you can't? I mean, he has to, right?
It's been a point of contention. Are the live players going to be able to be on this team? Dustin Johnson has said, I would love to play. I don't know if I'll ever get to play. But who has been better since the major season started, since the season started, really, and I'm talking all players, then Brooks Koepka did he tie for second at the Masters or
Yeah.
did he take solo third? Either way, he was right there. He was leading after 54 holes. Uh, and then, I mean, no one really had a chance today. Victor Hovland played very, very well by Victor Hovland standards, by everyone's standards. And he didn't even really push Brooks, which says that if Victor didn't play great, Brooks would have run away with it. I mean, it would have been ridiculous. So, um, I don't see how you keep Brooks off of that Ryder Cup team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to run through with the viewers here really quick, on just if you haven't seen the post round results for today's Brooks Koepka obviously in first, Scotty right behind him at tied for second, Victor Hovland, Cam Davis, Kitayama at fourth with Bryson DeChambeau, Seb Straka, Roy McIlroy, Cameron Smith, Patrick Cantlay, Justin Rose, and Corey Connors. I just wanted to throw that name out there. Eric Cole there as well. And last but not least, another name I just wanted to bring in because we're going to talk a little bit about here is Michael Block. But my biggest surprise was Victor Hovland's 16th hole. If you didn't see this, I mean, he double bogeyed 16, which really kept him out of. I mean, that would have put him at tied, for ninth if he would have went even on that, or 9 under with Koepka, had he not. And it was crazy how this happened. He plugged a ball into the side of the bunker. It was just not something you see every day on the golf course. So that was kind of the whole when I think Brooks looked back and just said, "Hey, I think I got this now," because those two they were playing together. So
It's the kind of stuff that makes us feel like they're one of us sometimes. You've been in a fairway bunker before. I've been in a fairway bunker before. It's kind of like, okay, they're normal too. They feel pressure too. Granted, my pressure is just, can I get this out of the fairway bunker? His is for hundreds of thousands of dollars if he makes a bogey or a double here, but that's beside the point. He, did you see how deep that ball went into the sod?
oh my gosh, it was buried, and they're like, I mean, you could barely even see it plugged in the side of that thing, and it was like right where the grass met the sand. So it's just kind of like a weird one in a million shot, as
I think
always.
he was I think he was super fortunate to get the break that he did in that his drop was in the grass and not the bunker again. I have this thought that you should keep it on the same surface as where you have to take your own play.
Right,
Well,
right,
God,
yeah.
that was close to the sand.
Because didn't he
Should he have had to
technically
keep it in the
better his
sand?
lie?
Well, that's what I would argue, but he had a rules official there. I mean,
And if you look
they're
at
the
the
last word.
scorecard here, and it tells you, it doesn't say that he was in a bunker on that hole. For that shot, it said um, it went 17 feet into right rough, and then he dropped into right rough. So I think they considered where his ball was at actually in the rough, even though it was like in the bunker.
Yeah,
It was weird.
weird,
I think the
weird.
biggest surprise out of the top 10 people, and I don't think anyone cannot agree with me. The top 10, I think Bryson DeChambeau is the biggest surprise being there. And it
He
was
didn't top 10.
no, he was tied for fourth. He was in the
Oh, tied
top
for I
10.
was,
Yep,
yeah,
tied for
I
fourth
see.
at 300. And it was weird because the last 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he just like stayed at 4 under.
Yeah, he did nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
mean,
mean,
he would bogey, birdie, bogey, par. You know what I mean? It was just for the final round, he had 3 bogeys and three birdies. So he shot
was he
even.
on TV at all? Did you ever see him
Yeah, I've seen him a few times. When him
on
and
today? You saw
Kepka.
him?
Oh, not today. I didn't watch much of today. When him and Brooks teed off yesterday, it was crazy listening to all the fans boo and stuff like
It
that.
was a boo fest.
And
Yeah.
then I think when he was coming up 16, there was like maybe 3 fans in the stands watching him golf. It was weird. It was weird. But it was I'm glad he's there. He's still a competitive golfer. Um, having him and Kepka tee off together because of their past, and they've gotten along and didn't get along and gotten along, and those guys having to play together yesterday was kind of interesting to see. I'm really happy to see Cameron Smith in the top 10, tied for ninth at 1 under. He kind of climbed back into things today with he had what 9? No, he had 7 birdies today, two bogeys. So I mean, he really climbed into shooting 5 under today, into that top 10 because he was there at 2 under at the start of today's round, I do believe.
Yeah, heck of a round on a day when, on a week, really 5 under when was anybody else 5 under on a given round this week? I mean, it was rare to be there. 5 or 6 under had to be the lowest score of the week or of the whole week. So good round for Cameron Smith. I'll be interested to see where he lands in the next two majors. From who you named, here's what stands out to me. Scotty Scheffler taking second. Thank God he didn't win. Thank God he didn't win. Did you see Brooks Koepka leaving the green? They leave the green, he goes to scores tent. Usually like a wife comes out and they hug and whatever, and then he moves on. Jenna wasn't there. Jenna Sims wasn't there for some reason. I don't know why she wasn't there, but he just had a bunch of his buds there and they're high-fiving and they're whatever. It was literally dead silent. The screen was dead silent as he was walking because they had to 7-second delay everything. Because I'm sure it was just, fuck yeah, like all kinds
Oh
of
yeah,
like
oh yeah.
just a bunch of swearing. They had a 7-second delay it, right? And if Meredith Scheffler would have walked out, they would have had an ice cream and gone and, I don't know, had some wholesome kumbaya. Just stupid. Like, so much better. We should normalize having your buds
The
there. No more
bros.
wives. No more wives. Just a bunch of high fiving.
No more kids and
Just the
family
best.
watching Tiger carry his kid off the green.
No, it was hilarious. It was just dead silent because they couldn't play any of it because they were all just swearing. It was hilarious.
Yeah, Kepka shot 3 under today. To hold that lead, he had a couple of bogeys, and you were like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" But he'd follow it up with, he went on the back. He went birdie, bogey, birdie, and then he ended with that bogey for that tap in, or 17. He had that bogey, and then ended with that tap in par on 18.
I almost feel like when he was 3 under through four, he parred the first hole and then birdied the next three.
Yeah,
he kind of shut the door at that point.
It-
I mean, it was kind of like,
He didn't
I'm
though
gonna
because
win this thing,
Victor was still hanging. He wouldn't
and
go away until
that's
that
why I said earlier.
double.
Victor Hovland played a great round of golf. If it were not for Victor Hovland, it would have been a runaway for Brooks. It would have been
68,
ridiculous
67, 70, and a 68.
for Victor Hovland.
Victor, yeah.
Yeah.
Brooks started out with
What
a 77, went 66, 66, 67.
did you hear his interview? I think it was on ESPN. Before maybe it was after the third round. They basically said, "All right, so at the Masters you had the 54-hole lead. What have you learned? What's different?" He goes, "I figured out what I did, and I promise you, I will be better." I think he said, "I promise you that won't happen this time." And the interviewer said, "Well, can you shed some light on what you learned?" What he's like, "I'm not giving away my secrets, but I promise you that won't happen this time." So I don't know if he was like hungover or something going into Sunday at Augusta or something, but he said that's not happening this time, and he could not have looked more in control on Sunday today. I mean, he called his shot. Babe Ruth pointed out there and just called his shot. I mean, it was kind of awesome when you look back at it that way.
Yeah, I don't think there's only one person that I wanted to win more than Brooks Koepka, and that was Bryson.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how awesome that would have been for him to win it. But hey, LIV came out here, and to all you naysayers, they still have competitive golfers. Phil made the cut. Patrick Reed made the cut. Cameron Smith, top 10. Bryson DeChambeau, top 10. Brooks Koepka's top 10. Mito Pereira, he was tied for 18th. Yeah, I mean they still had a good a showing. Now I didn't really follow the storyline on this. I wasn't feeding into it, but apparently this Michael Block guy. Tell me about this. Was this is a very surprising thing that happened? I guess.
Can we table that for just a second? Because I
Yep.
want to go
Yep.
back to one more thing about Brooks. I have a list here of relevant golfers with at least 2 majors. So there's names like Dave Stockton and stuff on here, but I don't want to talk about them. You have Justin Thomas with 2, John Rahm with 2, Colin Morikawa with 2. Scrolling.
Are you talking about
Jordan
people that
Spieth.
win to the PGA Championship?
Well, these are just relevant players who are still winning majors. Jordan Spieth has 3. Rory McIlroy has 4.
When's the last time he won a
And
major?
2014. And then Brooks Koepka's got 5. I just named like top players in the world
Mm-hmm.
in Justin Thomas and Rahm and Spieth and Rory, and they kind of have between 2 and 4 majors. Koepka sits here at 5. The next name who's still relevant would be Phil with 6. And then the only other name more than Phil who's still playing would be Tiger, and that barely counts. But because then it's like Bobby Jones and Arnold Palmer and whatever with 7. So of those names, like Rahm, Morikawa, Spieth, Rory, Justin Thomas, they all at least have between 2 and 4 majors. Do any of them end their career with more majors than Brooks Koepka?
He's won this tournament itself 3 times. Tiger's won it 4. There's a few other names that are on that list, but I mean, he is really separating himself from some of these other golfers in the PGA Tour by his
bulldog,
performance, man. Dude. He is. He's. I mean, he's going to be he's going to go down as in the history books. You know, I mean, the guy. He's a Hall of Famer. That's what I'm going for. He's going to be a Hall of Famer as soon as he hangs up the clubs. I mean, the guy is. He's a bulldog, like you said. So
I see John Rahm as having a chance to catch Brooks Koepka. He's got 2. He seems like he's got the game to do it. But Scotty? I don't know. I mean, Scotty's got 2, maybe, but Brooks has a 3 major lead on him. Mm-hmm. And Brooks is only 33. At 33, I mean, he's probably got potentially, 3 or 4 more majors.
Phil's
and what if he ends his career 52? With 7? He's got 6. But here's the thing. still at 50 won his 6th. That's 18 years away. You know what I mean? For Brooks to win one more major. Like, there's no reason Brooks, he's got 5, couldn't end with 7 or 8 or more. I mean, are you telling me that Rory's going to win 4 more? He does not look like he's got the form for it. I really thought, like we talked earlier in the week, Oak Hill being sort of a home base for him, and thought maybe he had a chance. But there's a few other names who might catch him, but they'd have to catch him. Brooks would have to slow down. I don't necessarily see that happening here. So interesting to look at the other guys who are still relevant and if they really have a chance to catch him. But
now tell me
anyway,
this Michael Block headline. What's going on with that?
So you got 2 levels of pro. You've got touring pro, which is the guys we see on TV every day, and then you have the PGA professionals, and these are the guys who are in the pro shop giving lessons and folding shirts. When you walk into any given clubhouse anywhere, and they can qualify for this event. It's the PGA of America. That's who, like, the PGA professionals are sanctioned by or whatever. And so they get a chance to qualify for this. He had a fairy tale week. I mean, he made the cut, which is very, very rare in and of itself. And then on Saturday night, he was told he was playing with Rory, and I put the video out. I think I put it on Instagram. He's just like, what? You got to be kidding me. No, Rory, really? So, I mean, just kind of starstruck in that sense. He goes, but it'll be fun. We're going to have fun. And then he shot 2 over today on the front side. And then by hole 15, he walks up and he dunks it. Hole in 1, on the fly, no bounce, nothing. Just like he ruined the cup. Like the ball went in and it like ripped the edge of the cup up. Like they had to fix it. So got him back to even for the day. He ends up bogeying 16. How do you not after the frenzy of that? People are just going nuts. They're going insane. And then he gets to 18, sends a flyer out on the left side of the bunker in this deep rough over by the grandstands. He has to get up and down to top 15. If he gets in the top 15, and there's like levels. Like if he would have top 3, he actually would have made, like, he would have got conditional temporary PGA Tour status, which would have been awesome. But he ends up top 15ing because he got up and down from literally an impossible spot. Couldn't believe he did it. And so he's back next year at the 2024 PGA Championship, which is just super cool. To see a guy who they said on the broadcast, he hits 1 bucket of balls per week, because that's what he has time for. So
I was looking at the earnings, okay, and this
I wanted to look at this. I'm interested. I didn't look at this yet.
Yeah, Brooks Koepka took a smooth 3.1.
Yeah.
Victor Hovland, Scotty, both 1.5. Cam Davis through Bryson, Kitayama, 720,000. Rory 555, Sepp Strapka 555, Patrick Cantlay 465, Cameron Smith, Corey Connors, blah blah blah. So, but anyways, I'm getting down to Michael Block here, tied for 15th. Sky Sports was doing an interview with him, and it was kind of a shot. We lost you, Nate. Was kind of a shot at him. They're like, the lady was like, yeah, so it's going to take you 1,922 lessons of golf that you give at $150 to earn the amount of money that you earned today. And he was like, this ain't about the money. And you know what I mean? He was getting a little choked up on it. Like, this isn't about the money. This is about, like, the hard work, the sweat, and everything that I've done to get to this point, and what a surprise, and just living in the moment and all that stuff. It was pretty cool to see. But right behind him
was the dollar amount again?
$288,000.
That's what he won.
That's what he won, and she was comparing it to his lessons, his hourly lessons that he gives at $150 an hour. And I was just like, really? You're going to sit there and compare his PGA winnings to his real job? Like, just making sure he knows who he is?
Yeah, that's true. That's kind of a little bit scummy.
Yeah.
But 288's a nice little payday.
You kidding me? That is
for 4
awesome.
days of work. I would take that. Yeah, kind of the story of the week. I mean, the feel good story of the week at least. I mean, it was just he was getting choked up at the end with the his interview after his round. Someone had recorded like at his hometown, maybe it was home club. They had it on the big screen and everyone was kind of going nuts. And turns out that the person who sent the video was his son. His son was there. He was sick and couldn't make it to the event this week and whatever.
Totally.
So pretty cool for him. Um, yeah, I don't know really what else
Yeah,
to.
that's it, man. We hammered through everything that was kind of the big headlines on that. What do we got next week here?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I've been so invested in Oak Hill that I don't even know what's next week. I can
The Charles
tell you.
Schwab, Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, they're going back to Texas, huh?
Yeah, so we'll have a little bit on that. Probably won't be as in depth every day like we did for this
No.
major, but we'll definitely have some content coming out this later this week. But otherwise, that's all I got, buddy.
Yeah, that's it for me too. Thought Oak Hill was great. Rough was thick. I like seeing scores at, whatever it was, 9 under par winning. That's fun to see, and having a feel good story and Michael Block just adds to it. So this has been fun, Brett. Last couple
Yes,
days.
yes, it was fun doing these lives. As always, hit them far, hit them straight, and we will see you next time.